All right. Okay. I've changed my mind about how I want to do this ending sequence. Although, not my whole mind. So, Prometheus Powers, backed up by Hondo the Chimera, gets a little burst of energy and he manages to get Stardust off guard. And then we're going to bring in Abrax. He's pretty much forgotten. Like, he's, a page away. He realizes that even though he's just a summoner, he doesn't just have the power to summon, he can actually banish things too. So he realizes it and then he casts a spell. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get started on just doing the panel borders, which I already have the right tool up for. How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. Sunday, that's my fun day. I finished up a couple of things. I finished up my homework for inking class. Like it's sitting behind me. I'm pretty proud of it. Although I know there's got problems on it. Like this shadow should be more skewed. Like it should be reaching further down here. But all in all, I really like how it came out. So I feel pretty good about that. I also started a couple other things. If you watched my Drive-In Saturday stream, I did start on my fancy drawing that I did. Let's see. Oh, I don't know where it is. Is it right here? Is it in one of these? No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it for later. I'll show it later. It's not done yet, anyways. But I got quite a bit done on it. And what else has been going on? Really, that's it. I mean, if you just sit down, start inking, start working, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish within an hour or so, even 30 minutes or so. Like all these videos that I do for this comic are 30 minutes or so. Some are a little longer, some are a little shorter, some are a lot shorter. There is some stuff I do off camera, like I just like I redrew these last two panels. And this is roughs, right? So this is not finished art, really. I mean, obviously, this is pretty rough. Looking. All right, looking good. But that's the way of the world. Now, what is this? What is this layer 3? What is layer 3? Oh, it's nothing. All right, let's call that. Call it inky. My inky layer. And rusty nib is my favorite. There it is. I'm trying to put something in the foreground. You gotta have something like an obvious foreground element. I think is important. And if you're outside, that could be something in nature, a tree branch, a tree root, a rock, something. Another option, let's just see if it works. Take one of the characters and push him into the foreground. We've really thrown him off guard here. Yeah, let's do it. Well, this isn't great. If worst comes to worst, you can always do some grass, rock, something like that. All right, let's do this foreground figure. I'm starting with this curve because it sets the angle of the entire figure. And isn't that funny how just like one tiny curve? I mean, I've got one over here too. I've got on the legs, but you want to see, the core of the figure. You want to see which way the contours are curving so you know his relation in space. And you can understand the shapes better. Stardust. He just got swiped by the Chimera. This is the giant Chimera. Godzilla-sized monster back here. Swipe! And this is what gives Prometheus his chance to strike back suddenly. I want to be clear that the stronger character is definitely the bad guy here. He's not only stronger, he's more like ruthless and brutal, so he'd be willing to fight to the death or whatever. Whereas Prometheus is not a killer. So we have the theme of relative civilization versus brutality or barbarism kind of established, just like we have in real life, where people mistake their willingness to be completely brutal as strength. That does leave him more vulnerable. So what happens then? Well, what happens then is we're going to have Abrax kind of step in. It's the power of friendship and loyalty and personal courage. So Abrax is a normal human compared to these titans that are fighting. Stardust in his unique costume. Don't blame me. Blame Fletcher Hanks. Yeah. This costume is all shredded in the back now. Okay. I think I made the arm too long, maybe, maybe. So I think what we're gonna do is let's grab this pencil lines. Now these are only rough, so we don't have to adhere to them very closely. And there's definitely some foreshortening going on here. I don't know what's going on. Let me think about it. I think I did it okay. That extra line was not useful. Hands, fingers will always be tough. Yeah, come on, you jerks. All right, you weirdos. There we go. How about like right here, mid forearm, as we've established. Now, what does it look like? So you can see it looks a lot cleaner once we pull the pencil lines off. We still have to do the hatching. I'm actually doing that in reverse order. Some shreds right there. Okay, here we go. Look more like a boot. Is that starting to look more credible? Slightly, maybe? All right, where it is. You got this. All right, now I got to figure out how to get these hands right. Like, maybe you just see two fingers, like 1, 2. The rest are, those are behind. So turn it to where it's about 3 fingers. I'm looking at this and it's, there should be more of like a triangle shape, you know? And how long are these fingers? Let's pull the pencils off. That looks actually kind of right. I'm okay if it doesn't look 100% right. As long as I'm not tracing. There we go. 1, 2. There we go. What do we do? It's the outside. Like, see how this curve of the pinky, like, the other thing about fist is they all actually converge on a point. It's more shaped like this, like a trapezoid, than a square. And then does the thumb come out? Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, so at this point, you're kind of surging forward. And the bulk of even your contour lines should follow the flow of the action. So if we want the fist to be going, this way, we build that in. Also, I've done this thing where I've hidden his facial details. Well, this is cartoon language or comic language, cartooning language. I think we're going to leave it in there. Just like that. We also have some foreshortening going on here. This leg is back. Fold that arm in a little bit. Hey, how about that? That's pretty good, except there's actually no line here in his costume. It's just like it's like him. He's got, it's a onesie. A onesie. Very cool. It's a cooking vessel and also a sound effect. Now, the reason this whole panel, I could make these figures bigger. There's got to be dialogue, which I haven't figured out yet. I think it's going to be probably one of my next steps. But I've also got this guy in the background here. So let's bring up a reference. To do reference and image and import. Import. There we go. Here he is. I use my own stuff as reference. One thing I've noticed right away is the eyes are too close together. So those are going to have to be spread further apart. And then the nostrils in similar fashion. As for the rest of it, I could chalk some of it up to foreshortening, but I think it's okay. We're probably going to try to do some Vince Coletta action lines. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, the other cool thing about this nose is there is kind of this area beneath the nose and above the lips. There's a space, and I've got less of a space here. So I think I should make compensation for it somehow. These are like two commas. Doesn't have to be perfect. What I'm going to have to do before I do my next video is actually write in all the dialogue, because if I don't have the dialogue written in, I'm going to run out of room. You can see that these images take up most of the space, and then these two too. This one's got a nice area down below where I can put some stuff in here. He has got to be talking to himself about using his summoning power in reverse to banish. And but actually, his plan isn't revealed until the final panel, because you have to leave on the high note, and then on the next page, Abrax will step in. Okay, now if you look at this guy's teeth, he's got canines. I think I designed him to have canines, but his front teeth are actually rounded. I like this panel layout because it feels very Ditko to me. Like this whole thing feels very Ditko to me, where the monster kind of in the background like that. All right. The other thing about the eyes They're far apart. And then I like the idea of them being, like, they have a lot of expression in them, but the expressions are all angry. Does that make any sense? Probably not. They have a lot of fierceness to them. Fierce eyes. One's about fierce. Yeah. Fierce, like Yvonne Craig. All right, hang on. All right. And there's kind of, I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, and this on the lower jaw, it's rounded on the sides. It's got molars. Molars, baby. And then he's got kind of a big old tombstone teeth coming here. Big old. There we are. And it's just a matter of, like, the whole background is taken up by this monster. What kind of ears does he have? Well, it's foreshortened off the page, but they would go like all the way down here. I think we can kind of stop him right there. So we have this open area here for dialogue or whatever else we need. I had turned his foot inwards to give him more like power coming off of there, but I think I'm just gonna reverse that decision. All right, let's take the pencils out. We're at 28 minutes, 29 minutes. So now it's looking kind of messed up, but it's okay. Um, all right. What about shadow underneath? He's falling. We want to make sure that everyone can see he's falling. And I've kind of munched his action lines down here. I think it should be explained somewhere in the aftermath that if Stardust had been prepared, that the banishment wouldn't work. So it can't be like this uber power that can just be used in any situation. But if banishment could even be used against, like, say, a really powerful demon or something, it should be useful against Titans. They're also not native of the shard that they're on. All right. A good beginning, an auspicious beginning, let's say. And we'll continue. Please like, follow, subscribe. There'll be more comics every day, every day, every day. And we'll have some dialogue on the next one. We'll have a little bit more hatching and so on. This is page 16. All right. Talk to you later.